everyone. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. The power flickered and went off for a second. So I had to reboot the computer and everything. Wait for the internet to come back online. So that's fun. A second. Some of my buttons different now for some reason. And my keyboard is constantly my keyboard is messed up. It's need boy. Give me a second. Let's see. I hope I didn't lose too much progress with what I was doing. I don't know how often Minecraft really like saves things. Check. Okay. Let's see. Joining world. Loading terrain. Okay. I'm in here. This is where I just put up the stone dust. I think this was before I loaded the that stuff into the thermal centrifuge. No, it is not. We do actually already have some. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that's going. Hold on. Give me a second because need I need to fix my keyboard. And in order to do that, I actually need to go download. Let's see. Okay. Working on I want app. All right. I just gotta There we go. Okay. I got my thing fixed. I got my stuff with um my computer fixed. My keyboard. The keyboard controller or whatever doesn't have anything for um controlling the lights. So I have to do that with something else. And hold on, I have a cat now. Hello, kitty cat. Hi. And an eye on my analytics, my stats and everything. Hi there, kitty. Do you want to like come over here and get pets, or do you want to just wander around my desk? Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna pet this cat. Hi there, little baby. Okay. Do you not want pets? Okay, but you do. Hard to tell what she wants sometimes. Come here. What is it? Yeah. Charging my phone. Okay, come here. Kid. Okay. Alright, so I got all these batteries charged. So we got enough to run the EBF twice. Really good for us. Okay, so I think I needed to use these centrifuge to get phosphate. How much phosphate dust do I need though? I need 5 phosphate, so I need to do this several times. Well, let's keep that going. I have a little bit of magnetite. pyrite. That's okay. I do have some iron in here already, which is enough to do one batch. But like, I'm gonna need more because I need to make at least 3 machine hulls, which require a minimum of 8 steel plates each. And let's double check and make sure there's not like some kind of crazy way we can make steel sheets that's better for some reason. That's not helpful. Worse. That's worse. And that's worse. Yeah. So we never unlock anything better for that. Okay, I need to do the recipe like 3 times though, so I'm gonna need more pyrite. I do have a little bit more in here, but that's not super useful. Okay, I do have some sulfur from that pyrite. I need to go. I'm gonna go see if we've got any more pyrite lying around. I'll go back to that a couple of. I'll go to a couple of these things. This one might have some. Yeah, normal iron too. Take a little bit of that. The cat. She went out. We'll see. Okay, let's go check that magnetite area. Okay. Is this okay? It's. I don't think any of these other ones are going to have pyrite the same way that. Yeah. I don't think there's any other places that could have pyrite. I'm pretty sure even our gold area, I don't think it had pyrite with it. It mostly spawns around like zinc and everything. Zinc and sulfur, which explains why it gives some sulfur. Really should be looking into making rum because that stuff gives me speed boost. I really should. Yeah, I need to make a flask. Fill it with aged rum. Okay, the cat does one out, so I'll be right back real quick. Okay. Let us stuff. I guess I'll get the pyrite crushed up. Man, maybe making this alternator isn't fully worth it. Oh, right, I have hematite dust. I can be iron. And I guess I just have normal iron. Surprise, surprise, can also be made into iron. I don't know. I feel like, well, it's not that bad. It wouldn't be that bad, and it's not a huge investment, I think, for something that can make a lot of and like we really need this thing online a bit. So I think I'm out of rubber actually. Woe is me. Womp womp. See, I need to be able to do that one more time, so I need 5 more things of that tricalcium phosphate dust. More salt. Okay. Let's work on getting some glowstone made. Okay. 32. And it does require coal dust. I don't know if that's gonna affect it or not. It is. Okay, we need actual coal dust. Bit of an issue. Don't really have coal dust. Like anywhere, I don't think. I don't even think we have any coal. Oh, I was wrong. Very wrong. Did get some coal stuff that's crushed. So, but I can use coal can be turned into coal dust. So I should be using that. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure the recipe for I can turn flawless coal. How much glowstone do I need? I want to make light bulb. That's blubber. Yeah, simple light bulb. What I want. And it takes 1 block of glowstone to make 8. Hmm. Means we need at least 4. Man, can't I make like some sort of this isn't full 8 though. Purified coal ore. Okay. So I can process a lot of well heck. Not exactly what I want to do. Let's see what thunder, lightning, thunder. All right. I don't think we're gonna get enough to get the final piece of phosphate dust that I wanted. This is make fertilizer. See, I need 5 of these in order to make 1 piece of phosphorus dust. Phosphorus dust do I even need? I think I need 1 to make 2 pieces of manganese phosphide dust, but I could also... What is the... Okay, I could just claim these 2 chunks and then have an alternator like the back, or just like have an alternator direct, like what a yeah, the loss that we would encounter wouldn't be it. I'd just plug it directly. I don't know. Probably be easier just to move this stuff. Amps is annoying. What else do we have for... Because we could also make the large gas turbine, but that's not until EV, I think. Yeah. Or HV, it looks like. Nope, EV machine hull. Titanium. Yeah. How do I make this? It's just a, that's a 4x3. Whoa, hello. Rotor holder, yeah. Dynamo. Okay, the other side here. Oh, that's the same thing that they use for the other one. I've gotten nothing interesting. Okay. How much did for me? 2? Not nearly enough. Gonna be a while before we can make that stuff. But in cable we would need at least loss 1 amp per, or wait, loss per meter per amp. We would be losing more the higher the amp. Dang. I really would want this stuff. Let me go check what's in this chunk over here. Maybe I could set it up. It's pretty much cleared. I move it like over here, and that's got tons of pyrite. It's also got tons of copper in it. Probably be a good idea to have. I like the dark button. It's kind of a shame that it doesn't stick, right? Like, open it again and it's back to light mode. Like, even is the point. I do have this. I could make a few more lights. Um, Grade up this coal that I have back here. Wait, can I... Macerator, is there a way? better? Look like it. They all just give one. And then I get this extra universal cell that maybe I should use on something. Probably that sulfuric naphtha. Oh my god, come on. It'll be fine. It'll get there eventually. Okay, I guess I will take this sulfuric naphtha. Okay. Alright. Alright, buddy. How about we just put a little back? Okay, and then these three... I could combine these three pieces with the one that I already have, and we'll get one block, and then I'll be able to get a couple light bulbs. Riveting action here at the kinetic mixer. Real augers. 3K stress units. This thing really does eat up a lot of stress units. I don't even know what I've lost track of what I actually want to do at this point. I guess I'm still working on building that building. I think that's the main. That's why we're making light bulbs, right? There's so many things I want to do, and I keep losing track of what I'm actually doing. Okay, big glowstone dust. I gotta put this in the extractor. Need it to be liquid so that I can turn it back into a solid. There we go. All right, so that's one block. And then I just stone. I'll take this. And bam. 8 of these little light bulbs. They glow when I hold them. We need more of these. I need a source of coal, though, in order to make this stuff. I need more of these, but we're going to put them in here. Wait, anyone in here? I don't think we need that much in order to... Okay, it is slightly floating, but I'll ignore that. To kind of stop mobs from spawning for a little bit. I don't know exactly how much that's going to stop them. I should probably install a thing that lets me see. Yeah, because I don't have one of those installed. Yeah. Okay. Let me go get this hickory done. What did I need again? This magnetite should get thermal centrifuge. That phosphate dust in there. Okay, I need... What do I need? Find... rest of it is just nothing interesting. Okay. So... Oh, right. I need my hickory chopped up. Okay. I don't think we're doing the dynamo, the alternator for a while, or the manganese phosphide. We do need manganese phosphide wires to make the computer, though, I'm pretty sure. No, manganese diboride. Is that somehow easier to make? I swear, if this is easier to make than tier vacuum furnace, a chemical bath. Almost gotta be, we gotta make the fluid, don't make this. Huh. How? Okay, maybe there's a quest that helps with that. No, I'm not seeing one the same way that it was with. What is this? Okay. What does this get made into, though? This gets made into a wire? Blue alloy wire, max 2 amps, goes up to high volt. Loss 2 amps per meter. I guess if you're dealing with high voltage, that's probably not as big of an issue as it sounds, but okay. It sounds like the high voltage, there it is. You do need a vacuum freezer. Okay. Need to make those hot ingots. Actually, what did that say about hot ingots being hot to me? Yeah. Okay. True. Does that just hurt in general? Like it doesn't. Oh my god, HV superconductors. Let's see. You do need the vacuum freezer. It also, you can use the chemical bath to cool these. Okay, I see. But you do need to be in high voltage anyways. Alright, womp womp. Okay, how's it going in here? Did anyone spawn? No? Okay. Okay. So, I do need to make a way up into this area, though, is the issue. We need to make a little stairwell for this. I don't know how I want to do the stairwell. You know, now that I think about it, I don't know why I did this wall either. Because I need to connect the areas across, don't I? Why did I make this wall? Hey, eggs, pretty good. Doing pretty good. I'm working on making this building here to move a bunch of my stuff into so I can have better power options and whatnot. So that's going pretty fun. What I need, I don't know what I need. Not 100% sure what I need right. Been we've mostly just been building today and ponder everything. What I need to do is I want panels through here as well. I'll just chisel those out. How are you doing though? I forgot to ask. Oops. Oops. Up, up, It's pretty interesting. I had a power outage earlier. It was kind of crazy. That's why the stream the session says I've only been streaming for half an hour. I've actually been streaming for almost 2 hours at this point, but the power just like flickered. It was just like I think it's called a brownout when it does that, but like it went down for like barely a second. That's cool. Just waking up. That's always fun. What was I need more rhyolite bricks. Or not rhyolite, but andesite bricks. Always the bricks. Brick blocks. What do I need for the brick blocks? Right. I think it's on a 0. Yeah. Okay, I need more. I need the liquid concrete. Ironically, I need that wrench back. Okay, guess I'm gonna watch this. Actually, let's brush up some more. Yeah, there we go. We'll move away from that a little bit. Could do something with the create trains at some point. Obvious. Alright, I think 3 stacks of bricks will keep us for a little bit. Okay, and then I'm pretty sure I have to put it on a 1 for the rocks. I'll leave that and come back and check on it later. 100 brick blocks, exactly. That's pretty nice. I'm sure there's probably some math that goes into that, though, considering it's... You make 4 of each... 4 rocks with each cobblestone. And then it takes 5 to make 4. Yeah, I'm sure there's math in there somewhere. Okay, I think like this. And then Do I have more rhyolite on me? I don't. Make more. Say because then I think we make a medium voltage gas turbine and bring it up here. How do I get the thing to go? Well, I'll figure that out. I really should claim this whole area though, because we are going to be moving things through this whole section. So oh, my bit rate's dropping. Looks like we're fine. Minor internet hiccup. Better than what it's been doing previously, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna swap these out. Yeah, there's a hidden button here somewhere. Hello, Amethyst. How are you today? Like a hidden button in here somewhere that auto sorts things. There it was. I figured it out. Yeah, there's like a hidden button right there. Doing pretty good today. Been fairly uneventful. Happy Belton. I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, but happy mid spring. Not summer. Not summer yet. Happy mid spring. Um we had a power outage earlier today, which was kind of crazy. It didn't do anything for like much. It just enough to like knock out power to the house, and I had to restart the computer and restart stream, which is why it says I've only been streaming for 40 minutes, which actually it is 2 hours in. So now it's time for one of my little spiels. If there's anybody watching who's new here, we stream for about 4 hours. So we're halfway through stream. We'll be here for another 2 hours. If there's anyone watching who hasn't followed yet, make sure you hit that follow button. Lets you know when I go live, and really helps out the channel, and you could be our 20th follower, so that's always really exciting. I need stuff. I've just been I'll be real, I've just been kind of like puttering around, and like I've mostly just been doing staring at the assembler is one of my favorite activities, actually. I've been doing a lot of building today again, because I'm still building up that area where I'm going to be moving all my stuff to. I feel like I've got an idea on what I want to do, and then like as I continue on, and like I run into other things, and I'm like, man, over engineering a lot of stuff for that's what we're gonna do. I'm switching out the chestnut for the black wood, and I think it's gonna look better. But yeah, that's fine. I'll keep talking because I mean, I guess it's like kind of my job to sit here and talk. It'd be pretty boring if I just like didn't talk the entire time I was here, wouldn't it? I don't think I don't think that would be very entertaining. Where did I put? I might have to make more rhyolite. Yeah, I think I gotta make more. Yeah, we gotta go make some more. Let's go back to the rock crusher. Crushing the rocks. Crushing them rocks. Which is ironic because the rock crusher makes rocks through magic. It really is kind of magical how this thing makes all this stuff. I'll go put up the andesite too. I really, actually, you know what? I'll put the andesite in this chest filled with other junk. Sure, why not? Why not? Why not put the andesite in there, I'm gonna wait until we get a stack of this so I can go off with it. Okay. So, yeah, I think we finish up this area a little bit. And then I will, I guess we move the machines into here is the next step. Honestly, I don't know why I'm focusing so hard on the upper layer when realistically I should be doing something down here. That's not that part. I guess I like having this upper layer. That's actually a really good thing, a good point. Now that I myself bring it up. Okay, I think what we're gonna do though is I think I'm gonna leave this as one layer for now. Maybe I should have done. Maybe I should have done one layer for the andesite bricks. It's a little bit late for that at this point, but that's all that rhyolite. And I'm just gonna put this here. Later on, we'll come up here. Right now, this is like decorative, I guess. The top layer of this. I'd spent a lot of time on this, and then I guess not doing anything with it. Okay, but I do also want to get all right. No idea if this is going to end up causing us immense bodily harm or not, but we're going to carve in a few channels in here because the idea is that when it rains, the rain goes out the channels, right? Which obviously isn't like an actual thing. I'm just doing this because it's fun. There we go. See, we'll just carve out a few little channels in here, and we're not going to experience a catastrophic failure where the whole thing caves in and then I fall to the ground and a pile of rubble. All right, cool. That looks like it's worked. Okay. God, this is some dangerous construction going on over here, to be honest. But let's see what it looks like from the outside. It looks fine. It looks okay. It might be because of how bright the sun is, because you can kind of see it a little bit better on here, ignoring the bottom part that's still chestnut. I mean, it looks okay. I think the issue, the corners. I don't know. We'll work on it later. We'll fix this up later. I'm gonna remove this chestnut though, and so we can replace it with black wood. Okay. I gotta pick a. Wait, actually, I already know what the floor is gonna be in here. The floor is gonna be maple. This will be the temporary science department room. Or temporary science. I really wanted that phosphate stuff. Maybe I should. I need that manganese phosphate so I can make superconductors. I really would like superconductor um wires for this section, especially while we're still in LV. But then again, because I could make an MV, I could make an MV thing and then just have have a transformer to step it down so that the machines can actually accept it. But like, what's the cable in? We'd be running like 4 amps, so we need like a times 4 cable. It still has only one. It's 1 EU per loss per meter per amp. I think that just means that like each amp packet is going to lose that much, which it's man, it's annoying. Being at this stage of power, the issue is that we just don't. It's not a lot of power, and so like any loss is a big one. Make it the slabs. Make the slabs. Put up the bricks. Put some of these bricks up. I still have slabs. Oh, I have maple on me. Okay, wonderful. I'll use that for the. I'm gonna need more maple than that. That's not nearly enough maple for our purposes, unfortunately. I just luckily we got a big backpack now. We got a pretty big backpack. I think this area is gonna look better once we connect the various sections and get them all built up. I'm not sure if that single light bulb, which is, if you pay attention, is like actually floating because of the whole slab thing, which I should be able to just pop that slab out and put a pile of planks in. Ideally, I'd want to replace that with something else that would look better, but for now, it's just a pile of planks. All right. We're going to do the same thing when we do this. We're just going to do the top and bottom layers so that we can fill in the rest with glass. Oh. Oh. All right, wonderful. We actually didn't need nearly as many slabs as we made, but we'll need more later. Did I really put the glass up? I think I put the glass up in the warehouse, the glass panes I had made. I know there's some more lying around. I got a lot of glass dust on me too. Probably make that into blocks. Drink our milk. Yeah. I don't think this is going to be enough, but it might be. Actually, I don't know. We only have to do three walls though, so this probably is enough. Hey, watch. Pop, pop, pop. No, this is not enough. Unfortunately. It is enough for two, but not enough for the last one. But I think it's definitely coming along a little bit better now. Yeah, it looks better. Okay, I have my glass dust on me, which I need to put into... Okay. Hold on. I can put it in an alloy smelter. That takes 6 seconds. Actually, that's probably the easiest one, because otherwise I have to do the extractor and then do a solidifier. I could make borosilica glass. I don't have any boron, though. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be alloy smelter is gonna be the easiest in a with the block mold. All right. We're actually gonna have to wait a little bit for that to finish up. So let's go and let's dig up the area in here. I'll use my spade for this to get most of it. Yeah, because we gotta replace the floor in here. Now, I know I do actually need to use some of this dirt because there's some patches outside that need to be filled in, but I don't think it's that. We're gonna have to put up some of this because it's not that much to put up. Oh, that's for here. Yeah, see, we don't really need that much. I'm pretty sure that's all of it too. Yeah, I think that's all the area. Glen. I like this area over here. There's probably mobs that spawn in here. Yeah, but not right now. It's fun. Those are the science department or something. You know, I could use maple slabs in there. Kind of, I don't know. I know maple slabs are more efficient. You get double the amount, but like, I don't like having the slabs with the. It makes me feel. But maybe I should just get over that. I don't think it matters at all. Okay, put up some of this dirt. More delicious dirt for the dirt drawers. Actually, I really should make like a super chest for these things, shouldn't I? Oh, what does it take to make a super chest? It's not that hard. Yeah, it's just a normal steel crate with some steel plates and some circuits. Using the circuits is kind of annoying, but we're at the point where we make quite a bit of those now. Okay, let's go chop down a couple trees. I'm sure that dirt will still be there by the time we get back, and even if it isn't, who cares? We're kind of flush with dirt at this point. Yeah, let's chop down one more tree. Okay, that should be good. Yep. Yep. Go drop off this. I'll drop off those chestnut slabs too. I know I made a lot of those chestnut slabs, but it, it doesn't match as well, I don't think. Not as well as I'd initially thought. I mean, it matches okay, but like when we got to like the bigger parts of the structure, I think that's when it started um not being as good of an idea as I developed the structure a bit more. Bulbs and backpack. I should probably make some aluminum, shouldn't I? Yeah, or more steel. I should do something with these batteries that I have on me instead of just not using them. Or just hoarding them for a bit. I'll run this again. Yeah, because we can make it can make up to 12 at a time. Let's go ahead and run this again. Yeah, and then we can charge them while we're doing other things. I did claim this chunk now. You can see it pops up when I go into it. This chunk is claimed now, so it'll be able to charge batteries while we're gone. Alright, maple logs need to be made into slabs. Okay, there we go. Oh, wait. I can make some of those some of those glass blocks should be done. Actually, it looks like they're all done now. Okay, wonderful. I don't know if I should chop up all of that should be enough to start with. I'll put these up. A lot of I have a barrel filled with water in my inventory. That's cool. Speaking of which, how's it doing over here? You guys doing okay? My batteries. That made 32 panes. Place these up. Alright, perfect. Up in here now. Alright, we gotta slab the floor. Let's actually get these parts. Threshold. Okay, I can't. Love placing slabs. My favorite. It's skyblock all over. Although with like skyblock, I don't think they really have the. Most of them don't have the ability to place slabs. I guess it depends on exactly what you're playing. I guess you can kind of play skyblock in, can't you? I've been seeing a lot of people online doing a lot of crazy things with like. It's not necessarily coming from a place of doing skyblock necessarily. That's the important part. It's the trying to beat the game with as little as possible, and so you end up in. It's been really popular recently. I've seen several videos. I know. I think Mog Swamp did a video kind of recently with a friend where they tried to beat the game using only liquids. They just had water, lava, and powdered snow at the start of the world. That was it. That one ended up not being as interesting because, well, personally, because they did a lot of like, they had keep inventory on, and they did a lot of like death warping and whatnot. Which it's still pretty interesting, but it's I saw another person who did it and was trying to do it on like hardcore, which is a little bit more interesting of a concept, I guess. It's definitely more difficult. Um oh, and Mog Swamp, they also did a lot of like they did things with like manipulating the tick speed and everything. Still an impressive feat regardless. Okay, I need food though. No, I need maple, not hickory. Hello guys, how's it going? This one doesn't like. I could do that. What is going on here? I didn't know I could do that. Yump. No, I could grab on when I'm already just standing. Welcome back, Amethyst. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, I need maple, maple, always maple. Maple's such a good looking wood though in this pack. And it's really good for cooking. It's definitely one of the goated woods. This should be enough to finish out that area we're at. The oh gods, what were we? The floor. This should be enough to finish the floor. All right, we gotta go cut the logs. You know, the crazy thing is, I played a little bit of I've been playing a little bit of uh God, what's it called? It's Greg Tech New Horizons. I've been playing that mod pack a little bit with a friend of mine, and I know it's one of those ones that gets kind of put a lot as like being really difficult. I personally I kind of like this mod pack a lot more than I liked Greg Tech New Horizons, but uh, Greg Tech New Horizons. Sometimes I get stop grabbing my phone like that. I've already spilled 2 sodas doing that. Luckily, there's no soda this time. I learned my lesson. I don't have open cans of soda at my desk anymore because I will inevitably mess them up. And a notification from my phone saying some apps got deep sleeped, which is great. I love getting nothing for a notification. Anyways, um, but like sometimes I think about how like or I'm reminded of how different the recipes are because like in Greg Dick New Horizons you gotta be basically like have a full set of tools and like we had to do some crazy things to make it easier for us to craft stuff, which honestly I really liked that part. I do really like the creative solutions to different problems that come up in different mod packs because like every mod pack's gonna have like a focus on different kind of what is difficult. I think because like that's the thing. People talk about like difficulty in mod packs, and I think it means different things to different people. So like the different mod packs are always going to have different problems and different solutions. Like in the in Greg Tech New Horizons, we're using like steam power, and I can't really use steam power in this mod pack because the volume of steam that I would have to transfer around is like honestly too much for the kinds of pipes we have, and things are a lot more resource intensive in this mod pack as opposed to New Horizons where the difficulty is like crafting the thing, which I don't know. I personally enjoy this mod pack more, but that is just a personal preference. I think they're both pretty good mod packs. Okay, so I have this built. Hog. I guess we can look into just moving our stuff into here. Let me go check on that miner that I had. I think it should have drained itself of methane by now. So I'm actually gonna go grab that miner so that we can place it somewhere else because I'd really like to get some superconductors for this area because like the main area that I'm going to be doing like my the main area that I'm going to be doing my working in, I'd like to use superconductors that way I can just kind of have them all connected and not have to worry about like the amount of power. It'll just be the maximum amount for that tier. So I'm going to move this miner that I have over here to somewhere else. Which I could use it to dig up pyrite, but I could also just use it to dig up apatite, which will get me the phosphate that I need directly, wouldn't it? Probably a better choice, in all honesty. All right, let's collect you guys. I gotta make sure I have the inventory space so I don't just like drop it down a hole, which is a very likely outcome that has not happened yet, but I'm still terrified of the day it's gonna happen because this thing just leaves a big gaping hole in the earth. See? And one of these days, one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to drop something down there, or I myself am going to fall into the abyss. And I'm not looking forward to that time, but it probably will be pretty funny when it happens. I won't lie. Okay, so that was enough of that stuff. There's an apatite vein out in this direction. Oh, let me unclaim this chunk so I don't forget. Abracadabra, abra, una, na. The song's stuck in my head. Lady Gaga's been putting out some good songs recently and just forever. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's Lady Gaga. I'm gonna be embarrassed if it's not. Lithium, lithium, um, I have all the batteries, yeah, and I've got a battery buffer on me. Wonderful. I don't have a whole lot of capoke on me though, which is like what I use to build these covers for these structures. So copper, stibnite, it's around here somewhere. It's like in this direction. Which interestingly, it's over here, I know that. I've got a lot of the map filled out now for the island though. Isn't that cool? It's actually pretty nice that we've got an actual map that we can reference now instead of just wandering the jungle. But we're getting a little really cool perspective on like where we settled. Like it's pretty cool the way the island is. We've got like lots of different spots. Like we've got like the wetlands area over here. Um some nice beaches around the other coasts, and it's a pretty cool it's a really cool island, and honestly, it's like the perfect size too, I feel like. This is like I can't imagine us using more than this island or like needing to use more than this island. Obviously, we're going to have to like get certain resources from other parts. Like there are a few resources I haven't found on the island yet, so there's chance we still have to like go abroad for that kind of stuff, but it's a like perfect sized island for building, I think. Like I'm as I walk through the island and as I explore, sometimes I'm just like, man, this would be a really cool place to put this, or this would be a really cool place to put that, you know? Okay. So I think this is the chunk we want to put our miner in. Yeah. Okay. I'm probably gonna need. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna need a workbench because um I need what is that stuff called? Chests. I need some chests as well. Get all this stuff out. Got this rock. Just a rock. Let's place it over there. Okay. Um, that blue line is the center, and that blue line is the center, I'm pretty sure. Go. Okay. Let's start getting the section put up. 2. Okay. Like I thought, we are going to need to chop down another tree, but that's okay. Plenty of trees to be had. I just want to find one that's maybe not connected to every other tree in existence. Hello. What's going on here? You've got a little bit of here for me. See, this is the issue with the jungle, though. The jungle is very much filled with trees. I can hold shift though, and I can just collect single logs. So I guess we're gonna do that. It's not as efficient. Oh, I forgot. I already have some lumber on me. It's not as efficient to saw them by hand, but like when you're out here in the jungle, it's like might as well. And I do always carry a saw on me. Right there. Hold on. I think we have just barely enough. We're gonna have like 2 left over. Oh, just one left over, actually. All right. Well, that works. Where's my battery buffer? Oh, I do need to cut down another tree though, because I need to make a chest for this. Oh, I want you to be. How do I I think that works. Um, I just need one more log. I'll just shave one of these trees a little bit. Just shave a little bit off of this tree. Put my saw up. There it is. See, the issue when I was playing Greg Tech New Horizons. The only um my least favorite part of that mod pack is just the fact that you have to make so many tools because you use these things for everything, and they also have like relatively low durabilities. And I think it obviously it's because like it scales up later on, right? Like eventually you're supposed to replace it with like um electric versions of the same thing, and that'll probably solve a lot of the problems, but very annoying at the beginning. I think like the thing is it's like this mod pack feels like it has a better start than Greg Tech New Horizons. It has a better early game. And I really do think that's kind of just because of how um Terra Firmacraft is like honestly a really, really good mod pack. Um it's a very good mod for early game stuff. That's the really good thing about Terra Firmacraft. I think like you could slot Terra Firmacraft in as like a base like start of a mod pack into a lot of these kind of mod packs, and I think it just kind of works because like I don't know, Terra Firmacraft is just it's so well refined. I think when it comes to what it does specifically, and what it does specifically tends to be really, really good for this specific kind of like the start of a mod pack. Because I really like the idea of like raising from like being, you know, not having a whole lot of okay, this is whoa, the macerator gives us so much of this. 6 of these? Okay. This is the thing. Every once in a while you will come across an ore that is much better done in the macerator as opposed to the crusher. So, and this is one of them. Eventually, we just do macerator for everything, but that's not until we get into high voltage and get a high voltage macerator. Which honestly might be one of the first few things we make in high voltage because that's like the abilities of that thing are just a little fun, a little silly, a little kooky crazy, if you will. Yump. But like I think this mod pack does a really good job of starting you off with like literally like you feel like you start off with nothing and you progress into ridiculous stuff later on. Of course, I don't know because I haven't gotten to the end game yet, so I don't know exactly how good the end game's going to be, but ow. I need to roll when I do that. But I mean that's why I love this mod pack so much is that kind of thing cuz I also I like my hope for this mod pack is that towards the end it ends up being like you end up like not having to worry about like basically anything. Like eventually I'd like to not have to worry about food or drink or anything like that or like temperature or any of those things. We're already at the point where we don't really have to worry about mobs. There aren't any mobs that are a significant threat to us, which is one of the things that I don't really like about Greg Tech New Horizons is that they're mobs everywhere and they're dangerous and some of them are uniquely dangerous. Like that's one of those things where like we've gotten to the point, me and my friend, we've gotten to the point where like we don't really have to worry about any of the mobs that we encounter. Like they're just gonna die pretty quick. Um, and like can't really do a whole lot of damage if you're talking about like normal mobs. But like every once in a while, there's some sort of like mob that has affixes on it, which like um that just like one shots you regardless of the armor that you have. I'm sure like eventually you get to a point where like there's you get past that and you don't even have to worry about those guys, but like still, I think the issue is like with New Horizons, like it's really difficult to do anything. Like it takes so much to craft anything in that mod pack, and then on top of that you have these hyper powerful guys running around just waiting to ruin your day. Whereas in this, you really have to kind of like mess up in order to what's going on here? Okay. It's much faster to wash it on a 2, but if I wash it on a 1, I get extra stuff. Is that like a thing for all of these? Might be. Alright. This has a 50% chance of not getting anything, so hopefully we get the extra. And we did not. Oh well. 9 of these should suit our purposes for a little bit. Oh, I didn't even load that chunk. Ah, heck. I forgot to load the chunk with that miner in it. If I had, it'd have a lot more by the time we got back to it, but now it's probably not going to do anything, honestly. That's okay. This will be good for a little bit. Keep us held over. Speaking of which, how's the heal over here? Got 12 more pieces. Gotta get this stuff charged up. Okay. This turbocharger, is weird. It doesn't work very well with like some of the. I think it's my weeks thing that allows me to do half of that stuff, but it doesn't work super well with it. Abracadabra. I still got that song stuck in my head. Can't escape it. Now, I was watching one of the things like I've been listening to Lady Gaga recently. Um I mean, going back and listening to some of her old stuff because obviously she got some new stuff out that's been really good. I mean, Die with a Smile is like such a good song that she did with Bruno Mars. But the thing that I was a little bit more preoccupied with was I was like going back and listening to some of her older music and like somewhat on accident because I honestly didn't remember how old some of these songs were. But I listened to I was listening to Judas, her old song from that song came out back in like 2012 or something, which I didn't realize. I thought it was a much newer song than that. Um, I could have sworn that was like end of the 2010s that that song came out, but I was wrong. Uh, and I hadn't realized because I watched the music videos for this because I was listening to it on YouTube while I do other stuff. Um, and I was watching because like the music video of like Die with a Smile and a lot of her more recent work. Like I guess I kind of had this idea of Lady Gaga that she was um she like probably I don't know what it is like I had an idea that she was like a little thicker than she was in the past. At least I didn't realize in the past that like Lady Gaga was like super skinny. Like I I didn't realize. I thought she had always been because I think it's partially because like Lady Gaga is known for like her weird like outfits and like and stuff. So like I think that's part of what may have like caused that misconception is that she's always wearing like these outfits are the parts that are more are the things that are they draw your attention and you don't really look too much at the person wearing them, especially when you're talking about like music videos where there's like lots of outfit changes and we're jumping all over the place between scenes, so you don't really get a whole lot of time to like really dissect the the person that much unless it's like one of those ones where it's like more cinematic, I guess. But the point is like um I I always thought I didn't realize that she was so skinny. And so I guess I had always kind of thought that she wasn't as like she was what I'm trying to get to. I thought she was less conventionally attractive than other singers, right? Not to say that like, she's was I thought she wasn't attractive or like I honestly I don't even remember. I wouldn't have even really been able to tell you much about what she looked like in the past. Um but I always kind of had this idea that she was like less conventionally attractive than like other singers, like because like at the time, who else was like the big female artists at the time? You had like Katy Perry, you had like Gwen Stefani. um I'm sure there were others. Kesha was out at the time, around that time too, although I think she was a little bit. Kesha was a flame that burned really bright very quickly for a very short time. Although her new music is like amazing. I love her new stuff just as much. um but like I always had this idea that like out of all the people, that Lady Gaga was like the least conventionally attractive one, because I think it was because of like how people kind of treated her for her outfits, was why I had that misconception. Because like looking back on it, she was like just very much fit the conventionally attractive archetype of the time. And I would even say, I would even argue like now, like nowadays they're going back to the older ways of like have women be super skinny, and that's what's considered peak attractiveness. And I'll be real, I don't really want to go back. I would be more satisfied if we just got rid of like ideals of conventional attractiveness, and stopped and just like started allowing people to like live them live as themselves. Yeah. um it's just it's not it just really sucks. Like I it sucks looking at like, I guess this is one of those things where like I never really thought about this as much, right? Because I've never been one to like try and fit in with those kind of standards and whatnot. But like I've been thinking about it more recently, and I'm like, man, it really does suck that like um if you were to look at like Hollywood and like the what actual like famous people, what they look like, it really sucks not being able to see anyone that like even sort of looks like you. And it it's just really annoying that we do this kind of thing. It's like, I don't know. Especially with the like personally, as a personal preference, I guess, but I never really been all that attracted to like super skinny. Um I guess that's partially because like I myself has never been super skinny. I wouldn't say I'm incredibly like overweight or anything. Even though that's what the doctors say. What do the doctors know? No, I'm still upset about that. I don't know if I don't know the last time I've told this story, but um I got I went to get a routine health checkup. Uh where did I put the rest of my, oh my god. I had more. It's probably in here. Okay, there we go. I need to phosphate this in electrolyzer. I need to electrolyze this. Um but I went in for just like a normal checkup, like a just routine checkup. Like, hey doc, check my levels of whatever I've got going on, and tell me if I'm like imminently dying from something. Is the main thing. Just get a little checkup. And they didn't even tell me this. Okay, this is the part that like this is the part that kind of like made me a little. This is why it made me like kind of sad. Um, they didn't. Nobody told me this. Nobody said this to me. Like nobody said like, oh, like um something. Nobody said anything about my weight. They did the whole thing. They weighed me and everything. Nobody said anything about my weight, right? Um, but then like I'm looking at the. This is a lot of energy. Holy crap. Okay. Nobody said anything to me about my weight. But then like I'm looking over the sheet when I'm done with my um when I'm done, I'm looking at they give you a little sheet that tells you like, "Ooh, this is all the stuff about you that we found or whatever." And I'm looking at it and it says like obesity on it. And I'm like, "What?" but I'm not obese. um And it honestly felt a little mean. I know, right? It felt mean. It made me so sad. Yeah, it just said like obesity on there, listed as like the like conditions or whatever that they found while they were doing the checkup. And I'm just like, I don't even weigh that much. I'm like average height and I weigh like almost exactly like 200 pounds. Um and like I know um they're probably just using like what's that thing? BMI. They're probably just using BMI indexes to come to that conclusion. But like I'll be real with you, I'm not over I'm not overweight. I think like part of the thing is that like my when I started working out a while back, I had a friend that I was working out with and yeah, no, I'm like obviously they're using BMI. I think that the thing is that I was working out with a friend of mine and we did a lot of like strength stuff because the dude super into strength training and whatnot. It was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun working out. I need to contact that guy and maybe work out some more again, just because it's fun to do. But I put on a lot of muscle mass when I was working out, and so like I legitimately gained like 20 pounds. My waistline went down. I actually like lost what would it be, like circumference on my waistline, but like because I put on a bunch of muscle, I actually like went up in weight quite a bit. And so like BMI is like useless if you do anything. I mean, BMI is pretty useless in general. I I don't know if BMI's ever been like a useful metric to go by in the first place. I really don't think it did like anything. Um, but like it's especially useless if you're going to be doing like any sort of like working out or anything because you end up, oh, polyethylene. Yeah, I like that. um because I know that BMI was like originally made as like a thing for um there's more paper in here. Huh. It was really only like made to track like people who are really sedentary, like office workers and whatnot. But even for them, I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, like okay, my personal experience, and I have like I've got things to back this up. Got data points. I got multiple data points that aren't just myself. um, but one of the things I've noticed is that it seems like everyone, and I do mean like everyone, like I'm talking like other creatures too, because I'm basing some of this off of what I've observed with like my cats and whatnot. But like everyone has their like a weight that their body just wants to get to and just stay at that weight. And it kind of seems like there's not a huge amount you can do with that. Like you can work out and whatnot to try and change your weight, but I don't know if it ends up being necessarily the most healthy thing to do. Um, and and like it kind of changes over time, I think too. I don't even know what I'm getting at with this. A body type? Yeah, kind of. Kind of. I don't know if it's necessarily. It's like more specifically like a specific weight. I've noticed that like if you if you don't change anything, you kind of just end up staying at like the same weight I don't know. Maybe it's obviously there's like lots of differences. Like everybody's unique. Like there's going to be people who don't follow this trend because they have some sort of like I think hormone imbalances can affect it a lot and make you change weight at different times. I know like women or like they have lots of problems with that, especially if they get pregnant and whatnot. But like I've noticed with my cats too because my cats, oh, did I just, oh no, oops, I think I just got rid of, I just destroyed that soup that was in there, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Oops. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit more cooking because I messed this up, but we were gonna have to do that a little bit anyways. um like I noticed my cats do that too. It's really interesting because like um my partner has a cat that is she's a little overweight. She's a little heavy for a cat, but not like a whole lot. I think she only weighs like 12 pounds. And like for a cat her size, you know, typically you're looking at like 10 pounds. But like every time we take this cat to the vet, every person is always like, "Oh, you know, we're real worried about like her weight and everything." And maybe my partner are kind of just like, "You know, she's just been the same weight forever. We keep track of her weight and it just always stays the same." It's not like she's putting on a whole bunch of weight or like gaining any weight or losing any weight either, really. So it's like I'm kind of wondering if it's kind of the same thing where it's just like, you know, when everything else stays the same, people just kind of stay at your body kind of just like regulates itself. And that's just like, you know, for your average person. Well, there's obviously going to be people who have issues one way or the other because I know some people. I mean, heck, I've got a friend of mine who I don't know what is go. I think she has like a thing where like her metabolism is just like extremely high. This girl is like bone thin. Like I'm like to the point where you're actually starting to get a little bit worried about her because she's also feels very frail on top of that. And I think she has like a thing with that where she has like some sort of oh god, I feel like she may have told me at one point, but I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of or maybe I never asked. I don't I tend to not pry into people's personal life, especially about stuff like that. But like I don't know. When we were talking about BMI, BMI is a terrible metric to really measure anything by. I think they need to revisit. We really need to revisit what we think about like health, especially when it comes to like uh weight, because I I'm curious about a few things because I know that like a lot of studies and stuff talk about how like the reason why the doctors keep talking about weight and stuff a lot is how I'm gonna burn out. I need to go chop down another tree and get I need to make rice and everything, and I need to make more soap. We're also out of soap. Okay, we're gonna be doing some housekeeping stuff here for a little bit, so bear with me. I know you guys were really excited for me to continue building and housekeeping. Just how it be sometimes. How much tofu do I have? I have 7 pieces of tofu. That's probably we'll take like half of the tofu. We'll go harvest our crops and everything. Um, but like so like I know doctors like the reason why they are so particular about weight and why or at least like what they whatever it's supposed to like supposedly increases your risk for like heart disease and stuff like that and everything, but um I kind of wonder if there's a lot of like issues that come about from like trying to achieve the opposite that we just don't talk about because they like we have like for some reason moralized this kind of thing. My rice is not done yet. Okay, well we won't be doing that then. Okay, I guess I'll take half of this soybean and turn it into oil. Actually, I'm gonna make olive oil. I'm gonna make some olive oil batches. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. We have so much olive paste lying around, we don't even use it for anything. Oh, I forgot to replant the papyrus. Let me go get that. But like I wonder if like the kind I wonder if there's as much so like let's say you have a person who is like not really overweight but like counts as overweight on like a BMI index or like on some other metric. If you have a person who's like otherwise healthy aside from being, like slightly outside of the range of weight that you want, I guess, for their height or whatever, what have you. Like, I wonder if the risks associated with like doing things to try and like lower your weight would be like as detrimental or as harmful as like the risks for like being slightly overweight. Because you gotta think like when they say like, oh, increases your risk for like heart disease and stuff, it's like, oh, how long has this been in here? Hmm. Hey. Well, I guess we are going to make a little bit of rice first. Let me go chop down a tree. Um, so God, that's had to have been sitting in there for like a week, that rice. I guess it was just dry rice that I left in there, but like probably not the healthiest thing for healthiest way to store it. But like you got to think when they say like, oh, increases your risk for heart disease. It's like, yeah, but like by how much? you know, it's like, is it only going to increase my risk by like, like a fraction of a percent, or like is it going to increase it by like a significant amount? Like, yeah, exactly. It's like how much of a risk am I at for being like, is being 20 pounds overweight, hypothetically, is being 20 pounds overweight going to like increase my risk of heart disease by like 1%? If it's that versus being able to, you know, eat what I want and not stress out about what I'm eating all the time, I think I'll take the extra 1% risk, you know? Like, and then you got to think about like it's not like there's no cost for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. I think that's one of the things a lot of people kind of ignore is the fact that like quote unquote healthy lifestyles, like it comes with like things like um comes with issues. Okay, I think it's 200 each, so I need 200 more. Like first of all, there's like the risk of injuring yourself while you're working out, which is really only something if you're like super into it. So it's not like, oh yeah, you're right, organic foods do cost more. And the crazy thing is, depending on where you live, especially if you're in the United States and certain parts of the United States, sometimes that organic food marker doesn't even mean anything. Like it doesn't, not nearly as much as people think it does, at least. Because companies can legally lie to you as much as they want, I guess. I mean, that there supposedly there are limits, but the limits are um pretty high, I'd say. But you're right. Like organic food costs more, which obviously the cost of your food being higher. How long have I had this disc in here? The cost of your food being higher is a significant issue, especially if you can't, like really afford uh can't afford it. And like the spending more money on food is going to like make you have less money to spend on more fun things. Um but like what else? There's other things. Like, what does organic eggs mean? They still come from the chicken? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Did you know that in it's really fun. Something you can do when you go to the grocery store next time is look at the packs of chicken. All the packs of chicken are going to say made without artificial growth hormones, and they'll all have like an asterisk next to that information. And if you follow that asterisk, it's because like artificial growth hormones are illegal in the United States, so they're not, well, for chickens, just for chickens. I'm pretty sure they're fine for other creatures, but for chickens they're illegal. But who knows how long that'll last? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe they'll change that. in a bit for reasons. Hold on, I need my soap. But like, let's see. Okay, yeah, I can make more. I can make more soap. Make more soap in there. But yeah. Yeah, sometimes though, sometimes when they do organic stuff, it really is just like literally a case of like them just putting a sticker on something and make it. That's called well, I was gonna say it's called greenwashing, but I don't know if this necessarily counts as greenwashing because greenwashing tends to be things like carbon stuff and other things. But I think it counts as greenwashing, where they just kind of like make it sound like it's better for you when it's probably just the same as everything else. If not, I mean, I'm sure there are cases where they've said that and it ends up being worse for you, but I need more lye, which is made with ash, isn't it? Yes. Oh gods. Okay. uh we'll just do this in the mixer. I'm not gonna bother with um doing it outside of the mixer. Give me that over there. But like, what else? What else was I even talking about? um, oh, but like, I wonder. I sometimes wonder because like I've got like I was telling you about that like a friend of mine. Um, that friend of mine who works out. This guy works out all the time, and the dude's jacked. Like honestly, it looks pretty good. Um, and he's a big muscly boy. And like it's one thing, it's like if you're wanting to just like build muscle and everything, I think that's like whatever. That's cool, I guess. I mean, if you want to look like that and you want to put in the work for it, you know, have at it. Far be it from me to tell you what you can and can't do. um, but the the only thing that I take a little bit of umbrage with when it comes to the way this guy acts or the way because like he doesn't he doesn't like eat anything he eats like chicken and rice for every meal, and I've made like foods and like offered it because like I do lots of cooking and like I offer food and I'm like, hey, you want to try my food? And he's like, no, sorry, I'm on a diet. I'm like, okay, well, sure. But like it gets to a point where it's like, man, why though? Why would you put that much effort into it if you're not allowed to eat anything? Sounds like it's not worth it. Ash. I need ash. Um, ash. Aha. I know there's gotta be more ash in the ashtray over here. Yes, look at all that ash in that ashtray. That's a good thing we made that. Okay, let's go take this water. But I don't know. It's but it's also like I want because like it's probably not really all that healthy to like only eat like chicken and rice all the time. I feel like that's not actually a very healthy like thing to do. Like I feel like at some point you're I feel like at some point you need something else like, you know, your body like needs fat, you know, and probably needs some sugar. I guess like that stuff's a little bit less to worry about cuz you're probably getting sugar in other places, but like I don't know. It seems like it would be harmful to go your entire time without eating. I don't even know if he eats fruit. I need to eat more fruit. Fruit is like a big thing that I need to eat more of, and I just never get around to it. Because fruit goes bad so quickly, and like I just don't get the chance to eat it. And eating fruit is such a chore. Like it's so hard to eat. Sit there and munch on it. I'm mostly complaining at that point, but Um, I don't even know if the guy eats fruit or not, which would I don't know if he eats vegetables. I've been over to their place and like they eat like they always offer us like hot dog hamburgers. I guess hot dogs and hamburgers are fine because they're mostly protein or something. I don't know. Or maybe that's like a cheat thing. You get to eat like a hot dog when you get to cheat. Some fruits I can't eat raw. Apples and pears I can't eat raw. I'll get sick. Really? That's interesting. Because eating raw apples is one of the few ways that I actually get fruit in my diet. Um, but yeah, I could see that being an issue for some people though. Especially, God, especially with the way that like fruit is. Because I always try to like, I always try to make sure to wash my fruit beforehand, obviously, or I just eat it raw. Um, but like, I don't know. The they've been like lowering the safety standards for food uh in the US. So it's like, man, I don't want to get sick from eating this stuff, you know. That really sucks. Yay, soap. Okay, seal that. Stand out in the rain. Actually, let's go listen to. I want to take a short little break. Oh, speaking of which, we are at 3 hours into the stream. So if there's anybody here who is new, we typically go for 4 hours. So we have another hour left in stream, roughly. And if there's anybody watching who hasn't followed, you know, make sure to hit that follow button. It really helps out the channel. You'll get to know when I go live, and you could be the 20th follower. So very exciting things. That's not a good sign for starting a song. Or it could be a really sick beat drop. Nope. Well, this is fun too. Um, Back off a little bit. But like, yeah, I need to eat more fruit. I need to eat more vegetables too. That's it. I'm pretty sure I'm good on all the other food groups. Um, it's just it's been hard to get good. It's been hard to get produce recently. I feel like I used to really like eating Brussels sprouts because I make really good Brussels sprouts because I chop them up. Well, not chop them up, but I cut them in half and everything. And like I'll cook them in some like in maybe a little bit of butter, like clarified butter, um, and then let them cook for a little bit in the pan, and then once they get nice and cooked, you deglaze the pan with some balsamic vinegar, and then oh, actually I remember what I do. I don't use clarified butter. I should use clarified butter next time I make Brussels sprouts. Um, but I cook them just in normal oil for a little bit, and then like once you're done with them, you deglaze that pan with some balsamic vinegar, and then you put them into like a bowl, and grate some Parmesan cheese, put a little bit of butter in there, and then cover the bowl so that the cheese melts from the heat left over from the Brussels sprouts. That's so good. I haven't found good Brussels sprouts in a long time. Either that or they're super expensive, and it's like that makes me sad. I need to go for some Brussels sprouts right now. That'd be so tasty. I know, right? It's good. It's one of those things I think I know there's a lot of like there's a lot of like I want to say trope, but trope isn't the right word. But like people like to think like, oh, vegetables are gross, like especially like kids don't like vegetables and whatnot. And it's like I wonder how much of that is people hold on. That to get that it's drying. Okay, I can dry it. Okay, that's what it is. I wonder how much of it is just like people not really knowing how to cook. Because like I think like vegetables are one of those ones that like I don't like a lot of vegetables. So um like if you try to give me if you try to give me like a vegetable, the chances are I'm not going to end up liking it that much. But like I like vegetables are definitely one that you have to like know how to cook right. If you don't know how to cook vegetables, they're gonna come out bad. I think the same thing with like kale. Does kale count as a vegetable? It's like a leafy green. I don't know this. I guess is lettuce a vegetable? It probably is. Um, but like with kale, I think like the biggest problem with kale is people like refuse to cook it. Uh, because like I've gotten like you go to the store and you get those like bags of salad and they're like you can get like the kale salads and everything, or like there's a lot of times there's a salad that has some kale in it. And like I've tried those and honestly didn't like them that much. Um Hold on. I gotta do this. I gotta grab the seawater. Put the seawater in there. And I've got to close the lid. So like, um, but I found ways to cook kale that is actually really good. Like if you like properly cook kale, it's pretty good. I mean it's a like the way that I've done it is there was this recipe for something called tandoori chicken, and I did that. I made like tandoori chicken but with kale. And there's been lots of times when I made this without um did you? Yeah. When I've made it without kale as well, or without not without kale, but without chicken. Because like I've done this. Oh man, this is one of my secret like vegan recipes, I guess. Um, because I would make kale, and then you could get like veggie burgers. I don't know if veggie burgers, if they're necessarily vegan. I'm sure there might be some animal products in there, but they're vegetarian at least. Um, and and you can make this with veggie burgers as well, and I've done that before, and it came out really good. But you just like take the kale and you cook it in a frying pan for a while, like with a little bit of oil and whatnot. Let it get like tender and everything, and you add like your spices. It's really just like cayenne pepper and like God, I don't remember. It's been a while since I've done it, but it's a lot of it's very cayenne heavy recipe. But then like or paprika, you could do paprika too. But then like you you add yogurt. You add yogurt in there and let that cook for a little bit, and the yogurt with the spicier seasoning and the kale, it comes out really good. It's kind of like a curry almost, but I just make it in like a frying. It's been a while since I made it, which is part of the reason why I'm having trouble like describing the process because it's been so long. um, but yeah, that's how I cook kale. You have to cook the kale. I don't know, man. It's like I don't think kale is one that you should be eating raw. I feel like it's too tough to eat raw, you know? I never did get into like any other kind of greens though. I really should learn how to make like collard greens and whatnot. I've heard you can do some really good stuff with collard greens, and like I could make some like collard greens and some pinto beans and hog jowl. That's a thing in some parts of the country because I was in this part of the country for a little bit. But they have this thing where like for New Year's, that's like the dish that they eat. They eat collard greens, hog jowl, and black-eyed peas. You cook them in a like a crock pot or something, and that's your food. And it's like every like different piece like means something. Um, yeah, no problem, Eggs. Feel free to come back and join us anytime. Always a pleasure having you here. Um, but like they would eat this dish because like I said, all the different items in there like mean something different. Like the collard greens are green, and that's like a lucky color. So um, you eat the collard that's it. It's for good luck. Um, I don't remember what the black-eyed peas meant. I think they're also lucky for some reason. I know I don't know why the black-eyed peas are lucky, but I do know that the hogjaw is lucky because it's like hogjaw is mostly like pig fat. Like it's like the I don't know exactly where it comes from on the pig, but it's like a pretty fatty piece of the pig, and I think like that's the rationale behind why it's lucky is because well, like what's luckier than a fat pig? Like, you know, like pig's fat. He's got to be pretty lucky to be so fat, I guess. Um. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. What was I doing over here? I think we've mostly finished this thing over here. I know we were working on food, which I'm still technically not full up on, actually, now that I think about that. Okay, let's go check on this stuff over here. How much soap do we have? We have soap, 8 soap, 8 soap. I think yeah, it's every 1,000. Do I not have more soap? Okay, sure. Soap, soap. Okay, I'll get, Wait, you know what? Uh, Speaking of which, my partner and I have been watching on Netflix that series You on Netflix, which is a very interesting series. The new season came out recently, and so my partner was rewatching the series a bit to get a feel for like what had happened in previous seasons. And uh I ended up watching it with them because well they were already watching it, so it's like I showed up and I start watching it. Now I'm invested in the story. Uh but where do I get manganese? I forgot. Okay, no, I can get manganese. I'm gonna go check the one miner that we put up and probably load that chunk over there. Um, but it's a good series, I think. It's one of those ones I'm glad I waited to watch it, honestly, because like I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if I had watched it when it first came out, but it's a very good series. It's very well written. The main character is very frustrating. Like the kind of person that you want to just like shake and be like, "Hey, you you're the one who's doing all this stuff. You say these things, but you're being hypocritical." Which I think is like a sign of a very well-written character. Because obviously I this is the main character. I think you're supposed to not like the main character in this show. Um, but like the whole show is like legitimately um it's all about a character who is very like obsessive over women. The main character's a guy. His name is Joe, which I think is like part of the appeal of this character is the fact that like he really is just a normal guy, but we get insight into his thought processes, and Joe sees himself as like this big-brained Machiavellian 5D chess alpha male type guy. But like if you're watching the show, like he's really is just a normal guy. Like there's nothing really special about this guy except for like I mean, this gets brought up in the show, but except for the fact that like he's a white guy instead of, not being white. And that's like part of how he's able to get away with so much because like it gets brought up several times. It's like yeah, they never expect the white guy. It's really easy to like push the blame off onto somebody else because this guy's just like a very unassuming character. Um, and it's very well written. It's just an extremely well written show about this kind of character. Um, and it's really fun getting insights into like how those kind of characters think and whatnot and all that. But like it really is like the show's about like this guy named Joe who's like always obsessed. Like the title of the show, You, is something that comes up a lot in the show. Like the you in particular refers to whoever Joe is obsessing over at the moment. And it changes a lot. Like it changes from season to season, and sometimes it changes a couple times in the season. Really, Joe is just like the worst person you've ever met. I'll be real with you. Not the kind of person you want to hang out with. Um, but it's really interesting too because like there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in this show. Uh, Spoiler warning for anybody, I guess. It's not really that big of a spoiler because it very quickly becomes very obvious. But there are a lot of murders that happen in this show, um, and it almost like becomes like a theme where this is just like the standard procedure for most every story that goes on in the show is that somebody's getting murdered. And the best part about the show, why I think it's such a good show, or one of the reasons, is that we always get a lot of like insight into the people who are, doing said murders, and we get a lot of insight into how they rationalize their actions, because like I think this is basically a show that's about like true crime, and like this is a show about like serial killers, honestly, because there's like several of them in the series. But like no one in the show would call themselves a serial killer. And like I think that's like the best part is that these characters, we get insights into like everything that they do and how they rationalize everything, and how they're like it's crazy too because you'll hear like one character be all like, "What? You're a murderer." And it's like, "Buddy, so are you." Like you just rationalized your killings the same way that they are probably doing. But it's a very fun show. Very fun. I'm very much enjoying my time watching that show. There's another show. This is completely different type of show because this is like a show that I watch, which my partner does also watch a little bit. I got them into it, but it's also an anime, so very different, switching from a live action drama to an anime. But there's a there's a show coming out, or there's a show that's the final season of the show is coming out in a couple days, and it's an anime called Blood of Zeus. Very good show. Highly recommend it. If to anybody who's like a fan of like Greek mythology. Yes, anime. I do watch anime. I would say I probably watch anime more than I watch quote unquote normal shows. Not normal, live action. I watch anime more than I watch like live action dramas. Um, but yeah, it's a Netflix anime called Blood of Zeus, and it's basically just a bunch of it kind of it's based off of a couple stories from Greek mythology, which if you know about Greek mythology, you'll understand the references. But honestly, it deviates enough from the original stories, like not so much in the fact that it's like actually deviating like a huge amount, but it's more that like the stories that they the stories that it tells, it kind of like mixes them a little bit together and changes some like key plot points and everything. It's a very good show though. It's like a I'd call it like a fighting drama, or like an action drama, or drama action anime or whatever. Because it does have a lot of those like dramatic elements of like, dude, there's like so many things that keep getting revealed. Like very common formula for this anime is like something happens, and like later on, like the next season, they give like a different viewpoint on what happened, and it shows that like this was all like a plot by somebody else, which I think is very appropriate for a show about the Greek gods. Like they kind of did that, right? Like they were always like doing things to like whatever and like mess with another god or something, or do all this other junk and whatnot. I will say it is a little bit of a bloody anime, so trigger warning if you are if you're not a fan of blood and gore. It's like medium level. It's like sometimes there's like a lot of blood, but sometimes there's some gore. So if that's not your thing, don't watch that. um but like it's it's a very interesting one. I can it gets revealed within like the first episode or two. So I can kind of mention this without like really being any sort of spoilers. But it's that one myth where like the basis of the myth is that one myth where as it's the myth of Heracles. That's what it is. Um where Zeus sleeps with this one woman who gives birth to twins, and one is like the son of the noble man or whatever, because it's like a queen, or I don't remember what the original myth, what her status was. And then like the other one is the son of Zeus, right? That's like the basis of it, is literally the story of Heracles. But Heracles isn't here, as far as I know, doesn't exist. There's another guy. His name is I'll be real with you, I don't remember his name. I really don't. Okay, I cannot remember the main character's name, which is really telling for how, I wouldn't say generic, but how forgettable his. Oh, actually, you know what? I did just remember it. It's Heron, um, like the bird. But yeah, it's basically just that myth, and then there's like a lot of crazy stuff going on, because a lot of the thing is like the anime is really like kind of deconstructing like the whole thing with Zeus's like infidelity, because like, and like how that affected like Hera and causes her to do some stuff. And then like, so like season 1 is all that, but like as a little treat for what can be expected for this anime, is that season 2 goes into the Hades and Persephone myth, which is always a fan favorite. Love love ourselves some Hades and Persephone mythology. One of the best, especially the ones where they give Persephone more agency. Um, because obviously the original myth is a little sus, but you know we're retelling myths, and we can change them if we want. We must imagine Persephone happy, because otherwise it's a very sad story, I guess. Um, which, like, speaking of Persephone, uh, I really like the way they did the Persephone and Hades myth in God, what is that game called? Hades, the hack and slash um roguelike game Hades. I really liked the way that they did the Persephone myth in that one too. I liked the way they did the Persephone myth more in that one, because in Blood of Zeus, it's kind of just like, it's a little bit more of hand wavy, kind of like we don't really get much of like the actual backstory of like the myth of how they ended up together. It's more of like a myth of like how they were after that. But in the Hades game, you get a lot of like the myth of like how they met, and how I really liked Hades, because like in like Blood of Zeus, they make it more of like a mutual thing, right? Like both Hades and Persephone were into each other, and they're dealing more with other outside forces who might not necessarily approve of their relationship. But in the Hades game, they kind of made it still a mutual thing, but they still made it a kind of toxic, not really, maybe not necessarily toxic relationship, but more of like a incompatible kind of relationship, or like maybe one of those things where it feels like in the Hades game that like um that like Hades, the character, was probably made a lot of mistakes in his relationship that are common for people to make in when they aren't very knowledgeable about relationships and whatnot. Although I haven't finished the full story of Hades, to be fair. Oh, oh, I'm getting myself a drink. Oh, hold on, 1 second. I haven't finished 100% of the story in Hades. I finished the story up into the point where you get the credits and the cool song that you get at the end of Hades, but I haven't finished the full like actual story because there's like a post game story, and I don't know if that would change my opinion at all if I finish that and learn more about the story. But I really do like the way they did the Persephone myth. I really like Greek mythology. I don't know if I know it's probably pretty apparent because it comes up a lot. I like mythology a lot in general, but Greek mythology is a very fun mythology stuff to engage with. Because I really like how old these stories are. Isn't that kind of crazy that we're like kind of retelling the same stories like thousands of years into the future? Like it's a really fun thing to like kind of ground yourself and like it gives you perspective on how like people have kind of been the same and doing the same things forever. That's actually a big thing that I saw a post recently talking about this kind of sentiment where they point out that like the post mostly focused on the fact that like people, like we think of like ancient people, like prehistoric people, the cave people, if you will. um we think about them as being different from us, like to a pretty high degree. We think of like these are cave people, they're like, ooh, paint on cave wall and all that stuff, and like we like to think as ourselves as being like more advanced and more evolved than the cave people. But like realistically, once we crossed and became like Homo sapien, the species, as opposed to whatever. I don't remember enough about his biology to remember what we were counted as before. But like once we kind of made that crossover, like we we haven't really made a whole lot of progress since then. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Is what the post was talking about, right? Like we we'd like to think of ourselves as being like highly evolved, but like the time of like the cave people wasn't that long ago, right? We're talking about um like I think we keep finding out that like the time that cave people existed um was a lot longer than we kind of originally thought. But like even with it getting a little bit longer due to like our increased knowledge and that kind of stuff, it was still like what, less than 100,000 years ago that we made the transition from, even if it I don't think we've been I don't think it's been that. I don't know if Homo sapiens have been around for more than, I wouldn't say more than 1 million years at the most. And like, but even if it's like a couple million years, you got to think about like how that's not really a whole lot. That's kind of what the post was getting at, is how like um even what we think of as being a really long time, like on an evolutionary scale, really isn't that much. Like, we're still the same people. We're not really that much different from those people. And I think it's really interesting to look back at like the things that those people did and how it. Hold on, I'm looking at that stuff. Manganese dust. I don't want, but I want to send it to a sifter. I don't really want to crush it up into this because I don't think I need that at all. Tantalite, though. If I got some, I should find my tantalite. I know I've got tantalite. There's some tantalite. Um, but it's a very interesting thing to look into and to think about, because I was like, the post also kind of talked about a bit about like their artwork and stuff, and one of the things that I think people tend to forget is like how advanced cave people were when it came to like artwork. I think we like to think of that as being like, like they just made silly cave paintings, but like there I heard this one story about a yeah, I heard this one story about a cave that they found where they had paintings on the wall that were of horses, and the paintings were made in a way that the horses, if you brought like fire into the cave, it looked like the horses were actually moving, which is like, something that we wouldn't think to really do today, to like bring fire in, but like, during like these people's time, like that was like just standard procedure. You bring some fire into the cave. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm speaking for cave people now. I can't really, but like, so it's like it's crazy how like their medium and the way that they did things were so different, but still the same, because like, they lived under different circumstances, but they were still people, and still made a lot of the same things. One of the other things, because I got like what 20 minutes left in stream, I can keep rambling for 20 minutes. One of the other things that I saw kind of recently, or well, this was a while ago, but yeah, kind of recently, I heard about how, the Greek statues, those ones that are all like marble and very finely carved, nice marble statues. Apparently, a good portion of those were painted during their time. Like, it was not so much that like they didn't just like leave them bare and like pure white like we like to think about them. It's that they were actually painted, and um and the paint obviously wore off before the rest of the statue, because the rest of the statue is just made out of stone. But like, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, we don't really do that anymore, even, right? Like, there are some people who are still making like marble sculptures. Like, I've seen some really good ones, especially recently, where there's this one guy or girl, I don't know their gender actually. There's this one person who makes a he make they make very realistic marble statues that like look like they have actual cloth on them, or like look like they're like actually, like if it's a statue of somebody who like they're just, I don't know, getting out of like, I think there's one where it looks like the person has a veil and it's supposed to be like wet, and it looks very realistic. um but anyways, we still have people who are doing those kind of things, but I don't think I've ever really heard much about like people making these marble statues and then like painting them. But I was thinking about, like, could you imagine how cool it would be if so like you had somebody who was like a master at sculpting, and maybe they were also a master at painting, or they brought in somebody else who was a master at painting, and if you like took one of those really realistic statues, and then you had like one of those people who's like really good at like realistic paintings, and they paint the statue. Could you imagine like how realistic? Like, it'd be crazy. You could probably make a statue that looks like extremely realistic if you knew what you were doing. It's one of those things I was thinking about when I thought about that. I was thinking about how like it's kind of interesting how in the past, back when we had like patrons of the arts, back during like the times in like Florence, when the patrons were commissioning great works of art and everything, and you could actually have like a pretty decent career as a painter. But during these times, uh like, artists were, what would you call them? I don't know what you call them. It'd be poly something, poly, But like poly, as in they have like multiple disciplines. Polydiscipline? I don't know. I'm sure there's a word for it. But like Renaissance, the idea of the Renaissance man, like Leonardo da Vinci was like a very accomplished painter, but he was also like, you know, an engineer and stuff. So like all these people had like all these crazy different skills that they had. And I think it's a little sad that we don't have that as often anymore, I feel. Like I think we do to some degree, but like I don't know, like Da Vinci was a master of like multiple disciplines, multi multifaceted, I guess. I don't know, who knows. There's also a lot of other things. Maybe he didn't even actually make his own paintings. Maybe there was a woman that he had make the paintings and then just didn't credit, because that's also a thing that comes up a lot. Um, I've heard a couple things with some people getting exposed for that. Ugh, I had to sneeze. Okay, I gotta blast furnace this stuff, but I don't know how much I can get. I think this is the same as aluminum, isn't it? Alumin, because this is what, uh, 33.75 seconds. Oh, it's a little bit less than aluminum, so I'm gonna see about making a little bit more of that stuff if I can. But let's see, we got about 15 minutes left in stream, so we're getting pretty close to the end here. I'm glad that we made this manganese phosphide. I'm using this to make superconductors. I don't fully remember the whole reason why I wanted this stuff, though. I know I need to make I'd like to make the superconductors to power things. I should be running cables. I should be running cables. That'd be a good idea. How's this place going? How are you doing back here? How's the gas? We still got plenty of gas. All right. We'll spend the last 15 minutes digging some lines for cables, I think. Oh boy. All right. So wood tar. Okay. So we have the, yeah, here we have the benzene pipes coming out. Oh my god. My nose, it's like very dusty and nose wanting to sneeze more. Chew. So if I don't talk as much, it's because I'm staving off a sneeze here. Hello there. This is TerrafirmaGreg. Yes. Okay. It is dark under here. I have made slight changes to the mod pack a little bit to better suit my needs, but it's pretty close to vanilla TerrafirmaGreg. The only real difference, you can see it here where I can do the big jump. I've installed the parkour mod just so I can do things like climb up gaps or climb up ledges and whatnot. But other than that and a few other changes, it's pretty much just base TerraFirmaGreg. I'm also gonna dig out into this direction too, because I think this building over here is where we're going to put our ore processing. But yeah, feel free to ask any if you have any questions about TerraFirmaGreg. Feel free to ask. I play this pretty often. I spend most of my time rambling though, so sometimes I'm not. Ba, ba, ba. Okay. We're getting the benzene pipeline going. I should probably, I don't know. I guess we probably will use these. We'll use these small gold pipes throughout. And eventually probably have to upgrade it to something better. Okay. And I had a friend of mine tell me a fun trick for these kind of things is every once in a while through the pipes, you want to like put a little, you want to make it so that it's a one-way. That way you don't have like so much of like the pipes going like back and forth trying to fill each other. So we're gonna do that. I'll put it there too. Okay. So we have that. I should have some, yeah, andesite to cover up the pipes. Dang it. Okay. We'll leave it like that. The pyrolise oven is going now to fill up the benzene that in those pipes. Ugh, distillery. This is working pretty good so far. I gotta move stuff into here though. I need more gold pipes though, don't I? Yeah, we're gonna need to get some more gold made up. I also need to melt my iron. Let's do that. Okay, so last 10 minutes of stream, we're going to melt some stuff. Actually, you know what? I have enough gold, don't I? Do I have enough gold? I have plenty of gold. I will melt up some more gold, though. Do I have a thing in here for... This is just gold. Because we have so much gold. Like... Actually, how much... Where do I have any dust lying around for gold? Or do I just have... Okay. It needs to be processed, so maybe we won't do gold yet. Yeah, it still needs to be processed. Okay, but we are going to do iron. I need to get my iron done. Oop. Eat a little bit more. Okay. We'll have to make some more food at the start of tomorrow's stream. Let's get our iron made. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have all the iron I needed on me. I have iron dust, pyrite dust, and some magnetite dust, and hematite dust. Okay. We're gonna make this up because we have quite a bit. I need charcoal. Yes, there we go. Okay, charcoal. Oh, do I have my battery charger charging batteries? I do not. It should be... Oh wait, I don't have the batteries on me. That's right, because the 4 batteries are at the miner that's mining up stuff for phosphate. So I guess we don't do that yet. Okay. So let's just light this and get our stuff going. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna blow my nose. Don't listen. Okay, we're just waiting for this to heat up a little bit. Riveting action here at the crucible. I need more lights in here. I do have the... I have the light bulbs. Let me put up a couple lights. This isn't going to be, like, cover the whole area just yet, but we're going to put up a little bit of lights so that we can see in here. I need to make more glowstone, but we need more coal in order to do that. I mean, I could do some more coal here in a bit, but I also just kind of don't want to, like... Because we need the coal in order to make blaze burners, which I know I'm going to need at least a couple more here soon. Though I think we have enough coal lying around that it probably wouldn't matter. We could probably just make it, and it like wouldn't affect us at all. But the thing is like we don't have a deposit of coal on the island. Um, we don't have a deposit of the only we have like several deposits of coal and oil and all sorts of other crazy stuff on the mainland. I think if I did this again, if I did another playthrough, maybe I would settle somewhere that had more coal and oil sand specifically. That way, I could just like go straight into like gasoline production or like diesel for power. I think that'd be pretty fun, even though it's a lot more to like set up. But I think it would be very fun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna melt. Okay. So we'll have some iron for a bit. And the last bits. There we go. All right. I'm gonna put these other. I'll put the rest of the light bulbs up, I guess, in here. We come in here a lot. Although honestly, I probably should have done it for the um the the warehouse. Probably would have been a better place to put those. We should make some more. I should make some more. I should look into more coal production stuff. Okay, so 3 stacks worth of iron is a good place to start. Let's make some more pipes with the rest of our time in stream. For anybody who is new watching, we typically go for 4 hours, and we are about at the end of our 4 hours. I know the session thing says that I've only been streaming for 2.5 hours, but we had a slight power outage earlier today, and I had to restart stream because of that. Okay, I think we need the small pipes, which I think it's just one plate. Yeah. I really should run the blast furnace for some more stuff. I should do more. You know what? We'll do that. While that's running, let's swap. Heck, we don't have a whole lot of nitrogen. I need nitrogen. I'm getting to the point where I've got plenty of oxygen. Um, we do need more nitrogen, and God, I think the best way to get that is through the gas collector, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'll worry about that later. Well, let's take some time to look at what our other options are for nitrogen. Centrifuging, yeah, centrifuging air is probably the best one because it gets us 3 buckets of nitrogen gas. I don't think all these electrolyzer ones are like different kinds of um, liquids with a few dusts, ender dust, which like we don't have. We're not getting that for a long time. Yeah, none of these are things that we have easy access to. Yeah, it's gas. It is. Let's I'm gonna plug this in for a little bit. Let it fill back up with air. Okay, we'll make some more pipes. This amount should be more than enough pipes to get all our stuff. Nitrogen. No, I have plenty. Yep, crumbs on hand. Oop. Well, I guess it would try to. It's probably gonna. Yeah, it ran out. I'll wait till this finishes and we'll centrifuge the air. I don't remember how long it takes. But I'll at least put it in the thing, in the centrifuge. There we go. Centrifuge. Okay. That's going to take a little bit of time to do that, 80 seconds for each one. So, and it has just reached the hour. So it is time for us to end our stream. One of these days, I'll build myself a real nice big house in this area. That isn't just a little shack. Maybe we even incorporate the sauna into it. But for now, we go into our nice little shack, cozy little home to get away from the rain. Okay. Thank you all for joining me here. I love you all so much. Thank you for choosing to spend your time here with me, be entertained by me, hang out while I play TerrafirmaGreg, which takes, apparently, forever. But it is very fun to be here and hang out. So, thank you all. I'm going to be ending it here for today. If there's anybody watching who isn't following, make sure to hit that follow button. You'll be able to get notifications for when I go live. It'll really help out the channel, and you could be that 20th follower. Who knows? If you need more content for me, I do have my YouTube linked below where I upload the VODs that we make here on the channel. And I also have my Blue Sky linked below, which is where I will post anything if I have to cancel a stream or whatever. Speaking of which, we won't be having stream on Saturday because of reasons. I have to go somewhere, but whatever. Okay, well, that's it for me. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, night, whatever time it is for you. Have a good one. Bye, everyone. Bye.